Hi everyone, thank you for watching and welcome back to my channel. Today I am here with one of my suspense story times. Sadly though, I mean they're all 100% events that happen, but sadly this is something that happened to somebody really close to me, and this was my grandma. I had mentioned to you guys that my grandma was able to see a lot of things, and a lot of things followed her because of the lifestyle that she had and because of stuff that she had actually done herself. So I'm gonna get into it because when I think I uploaded like a little preview or something like that, and I got messages. They're like, what happened? I'm like, hold on. I'm like, I didn't really wanna talk about it like right there and then because I didn't have all my facts 100% down. But now that I did my full research, because I did have to do research on this for the fact that you'll see in a minute. Sorry guys, I had to fix my camera. I usually keep my dogs around me because they're very soothing and calming to me, especially when I'm talking about like these kind of situations or like any energies or negative beings or something like that. I don't know, I feel like I get a little tense and things get a little tense here, and I don't know, something about them near me like is very calming, comforting, and soothing. So yes, they are here. So if you guys see any little tails waggling around or whatever, that's them. So yes, where was I? So unfortunately my grandma was sold to the Gonzalez sisters, the Gonzalez Valenzuela sisters. If you guys don't know who Gonzalez Valenzuela sisters, they're part of an organization that was called the Poquianchis. It was the most cruel serial killers in Mexican history known ever. They were around from 1945 to 1964, and unfortunately my grandma was sold to them. They dedicate themselves into selling, trafficking young ladies, and like I said, my grandma, unfortunately my grandma's early teenage years started there, and from there and on everything was just messed up for her. And again, because of this, she was messed up from her head at a point, and she did do a lot of things, and I feel like this might have opened her up to a lot of evil things following her. Like, just for you to know, my grandma was not scared of the devil itself. Like, she had already gone through hell and back. She was not afraid of anyone, and she had no chill, and she had no problem confronting who she had to confront, being the devil itself. Quick disclaimer, a couple of things that I am going to describe are going to be a little intense and strong, so if you're very sensitive, I suggest you don't watch this video. It's a lot of I'm not going to put any pictures because it would be graphic, but it's a lot of explicit description. I don't know how to call it, but yeah, you guys, I still hope you guys enjoy the story. So at age 13, my grandma was sold to the Gonzalez Valenzuela sisters. If you guys have never heard of these, they were 4 sisters that were part, or actually were the main ones of an organization that dedicated themselves to trafficking and selling young ladies. Now, this organization was called the Poquianchis, and they were known as the most cruel serial killer organization in Mexico's history. The name of these women were Carmen, Maria de Jesus, Luisa, and Delfina. This organization was active from 1945 to 1965, and unfortunately for my grandma, around this time, at only age 13, her mother had passed away, leaving her in full custody of her godmother. Around this time, this specific organization was going through Guanajuato and Jalisco, recruiting young ladies to prostitute and traffic. Unfortunately for my grandma, she was sold to this organization by her godmother. Now, I'm not going to get into full detail how this organization started. I do know the background story. If you ever want me to tell more, I will tell you how this organization started, what, more details of what they did and how they ended up. But again, this is not really about them. This is about what my grandma had to go through and see in order for her to start off into this whole agony, if you want to say. So around this time, these people were recruiting, better to say, they were kidnapping, buying, or just pretty much taking little girls off the streets. And we're talking about 12-year-olds and on. Now, by the age of 25, you were considered to be old for this, so you were just killed. Now, again, these people will go to towns, especially knowing that they were in desperate need of money, food, or in pure poverty, and they would take advantage of the situation. They would convince their families that they would be taking these girls to work at farms and, you know, help out to the family, or they would just simply tell them, you know, how much do you want for her or whatever, and they will buy these little girls off her, which some families did give in, unfortunately. Some girls were just kidnapped, and again, some families were tricked into just pretty much giving up their little young ladies. Now, as soon as these young ladies were taken, they were pretty much vanished. They were either vanished in Guanajuato or Jalisco in a brothel. They were just, like I said, they were sold, prostituted, and they were trafficked from town to town to pretty much go serve the man in need of these services. What my grandma had to see throughout these brothels, or throughout this whole time that they were being trafficked and sold, it was just beyond cruel. It was just something you would never think, and very inhumane. To start off, when these little girls were recruited and brought into the brothel, their initiation was pretty much being raped and showered in cold water. And that was just the initiation before they were sold to other men. These little girls were not allowed to complain, to cry, to get pregnant, or anything, or to get sick. If any of this happened, or you just were disliked, or you made a comment that they didn't like, they were just simply killed. Not only were these little girls sold, prostituted, and abused, they were beaten, they were kept in very inhumane conditions under very little to no food. Again, at age 25, you were considered to be too old for the business, and well, you were no good for them. And if you didn't become a partner of theirs, which means you would take care of some of the beatings, the killings, or the punishments towards these little girls, then they had to get rid of you. Because why let you go? Chances are you're gonna go to the authorities and tell on them, right? Which made no sense, because authorities were pretty much bought out in every town that they had a brothel in. So honestly, it made no sense. Unfortunately, Mexico's government's very corrupt, and they're easily bought out in small little towns especially. So they were sent to this man by the name of Salvador Estrada, aka El Verdugo, which in English translates to the executioner. Whew. This man will gather up all those young ladies, 25-year-olds, put them in a room, and either beat them to death, torture them to death, bury them alive, burn them, whatever he wanted to do with them, he would. Again, my grandma had to see all of this and live all of this. You know, these girls weren't allowed to get pregnant at all, because if they did get pregnant, then they would either, if they were pretty, they would force an abortion on them, or if they weren't some of the most attractive ones that would attract a lot of clientele, they were just easily killed. This was found out because after this whole organization was discovered, they went through the places or the farms that they were residing, and they found a lot of bodies, and a lot of them still had a fetus inside them. Again, these girls, if they got sick, if anything happened, so they just didn't like them, they would just easily kill them. You know, fortunately for my grandma, my grandpa came and bought her out of there. He fell in love with her, and well, it was rare, honestly. You never heard of any them selling like them permanently to anyone, but maybe he just got to their price, and well, they let my grandma go, which was weird again, because like I said, the main reason why they didn't let go of those 25-year-olds was because they didn't want them to be, you know, they didn't want them to go accuse them with the authorities, the little authorities that weren't really bought out. This wasn't the same situation for pretty much any of the rest of the girls. At the end, when they found out about everything, they figured that about 91 of them were killed, well, because they found bodies, but they suspect that 150 were actually killed in total. Now, like I said, fortunately for my grandma, she got saved. I'm not 100% sure what age she got saved in, but I'm gonna show you a picture right here. The circle one is actually my grandma. I didn't really know that was her until my mom is the one that told me more details about this, because she's the one that started telling me the story. And the one that you see is actually my grandma. Now this picture was taken by the Poquianchis or whatever. Like they just thought they were bad like that, and they had like a whatever. And this picture came out in the newspaper, and this is the picture that my grandpa showed my mom when he told her, I bought your grandma from this cruel organization who dedicated themselves to prostituting young ladies. She even came out in the newspaper when this organization was discovered, and they were arrested. And when I showed this picture to my mom, which I didn't know, she just told me that my grandpa showed her a picture. When I showed the picture to mom, she goes, oh, this is the one that he showed me, that's her. And I was like, my goodness. So this picture is pretty much on Google, like it's part of the reports and everything, you know, because this is the picture that came out in the newspaper. Again, this was my grandma's luck, and like I mentioned, this is why my grandma was not scared of anything evil. She was not scared of the devil itself, because she had already been in hell. Like, that was hell, you guys. Like, torturing you, starving you, you know, depriving you from your liberty, selling you to all these older men at only age 13, being raped. Like, the hell. Like, she was not going to be scared. Like, at this point, nothing did anything. She was not afraid of anything. My grandma was one of those women, unfortunately though, that if you looked at her sideways and she had an iron in her hand, she would throw the iron on you. Oh, you die kind of thing, you know. She was just that hardcore rough woman. And after, like, I had already known that she was sold to these people, but I really didn't know deep detail what these people really did with these girls. Like, I mean, I know they were being sold and trafficked, right? But I really didn't know in like deep detail the hell that they were being put through. And honestly, you guys, there were so many emotions inside me when I was like doing my research and everything. You know, when I uploaded that little preview, I'm like, oh, I'm doing a research because I'm gonna do a video. And you know, you guys, like, there were so many emotions. I wanted to cry. I got to a point where I wanted to throw up of how like intense all of this was. But yeah, this is why this is one of the things that really messed my grandma up in the head. And she did so many things. Like, she like, my grandma was just a crazy hardcore rough woman. Like, she beat up cops, she beat up men, like, she would get into fights. She had no, like, she didn't care. Like, she was not scared of anyone. Anybody looked at her the wrong way in the street, she'll straight up like confront them about why they're staring at her. Like, she was just that, she just became that careless, rough, tough person, you know. Unfortunately, like, you know, she did so many bad things. Sadly, you know, my mom and my uncles and aunts and all that, they were beaten when they were like beaten when they were children, you know, unfortunately and sadly. But again, this is coming from a woman who wasn't 100% all there in her head at one point, because she was potentially emotionally harmed and physically too. So my mom really does suspect that she did, you know, cause huge harm on people, even to the point where one time, like, I don't know who's the one that told my mom, like, one of my aunts told her that she went to the backyard and my grandma was like digging up a grave, and they asked her, what the hell is this for? And like, oh, it's for your dad, you know, like, he's the whatever, this and this. Like, my grandma was just messed up in the head. And like I said, she did commit a lot of evil acts, and I feel like this is why she was open to all these things happening to her, because she did see a lot of evil. But just the way she saw it a lot, like, she confronted it a lot. Like, she was straight up cuss them out, she was straight up tell them crap. Like, I'm not sure, you guys. And I want to think that my grandma made it to heaven, because my mom is under the suspicion that my grandma might have done things that might have kept her from like going to heaven, which I'm not gonna get into due to respect to my grandma. But I don't know, you guys. Like, my mom has like suspicions, you know. And again, this is why my grandma was so open to things. These people really mess a lot of these women up. Fortunately, one of the girls was able to get away. Her name was Catalina Ortega, and she was able to escape one time that these women were running away from the town, like the previous town they had a brothel in. And they went into like this farm that they told me, oh, you guys are gonna be safe here. And they were in like this little room. This girl, one of the new recruits, was like able to escape. Fortunately for her, the authorities in that area weren't bought out yet, or weren't part of it. So you know, they that's how they were arrested, and you know, they served jail time. They died in very like crucial forms, like themselves, like the four sisters, you know. So yeah, you guys, this is one of the starts. This is one of the things that my grandma had to go through, and one of the things that emotionally messed her up to the point where she did commit a lot of cruel acts, unfortunately. And that opened her up to all these negative things, because when you're an evil person, evil things surround you, unfortunately. But yeah, you guys, I really hope you guys were entertained. I don't know if anybody could actually enjoy such a story, because I didn't enjoy finding out all these little details. And the only reason why I kept going was because like I want to make this story for you guys. But yeah, it's just I'm still in shock, like just like all this information and everything. But yeah, you guys, I really hope you guys were entertained. Please let me know if you guys have any more suggestions. More Spanish videos were requested. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to like record those and do them in a separate playlist. I don't want to make a separate channel. I just feel like that would be like, I don't know, but I might make like a playlist where it's only like Spanish videos. I'll see what I can do. But you guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you guys for joining me today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.